Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam view class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, and last time we discussed the fourth chapter. So in this fourth chapter, Parikshit Maharaj, he asks a question to Shukadeva Goswami about Sarga and Visarga. So what is primary creation and the secondary creation? So primary creation is done by Mahavishnu and the secondary creation by Garbhodakshay Vishnu, by Brahmaji. So after hearing the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, he started offering prayers, Mangalacharan invocation prayers. Actually, when Parikshit Maharaj asked the questions in the 19th chapter of the first canto, Shukadeva Goswami, he was so happy and ecstatic that without even offering prayers, he started answering. And now he is being reminded of. So he offered beautiful prayers, and then he says that I will answer your questions by quoting conversation which happened between Brahma and Narada. Brahma Narad Samvad. So that is what is going to be described now in the fifth chapter, which is entitled The Cause of All Causes. So in this chapter, Brahmaji, he describes the creation of the elements and the universal form with all the planets as the limbs of the universal form. So Narad Muni, once he went to Brahmaji and he asked this question, Dev Dev Namaste Tu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tadvijani Hi Yadgyanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. O Dev Dev, O chief of all the Devatas, Namaste Astu. I offer my obeisances unto you. Bhuta Bhavana. You are the generator of all the living entities. You are the firstborn. Purvaja. You are the firstborn living entity. Tad vijani hi yad jnanam. So therefore, please tell me tad vijani hi. Because you know, therefore you please tell me that transcendental knowledge, which is Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. It specifically directs one to the truth of the soul and the super soul. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that the individual, the inquisitive student must approach a bona fide spiritual master and he should serve him humbly. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanena tattvadarshinaha. So one should humbly serve the spiritual master. And Prabhupada writes, knowledge which is received by humble service is more effective than the knowledge which is acquired in the exchange of money, which is happening in today's modern universities. So knowledge, Prabhupada writes, the knowledge is revealed in proportion to the inquisitiveness and the service attitude of the student. To the extent one is submissive To the extent one is interested in serving, to that extent one receives knowledge. And actually, the knowledge which we receive becomes realization when we serve. So Vidurji, he is expressing his gratitude to Maitreya in the third canto, where he says, Yat sevaya bhagavata kutasthasya madhudvisha ratiraso bhavet tivra padayor vyasanardanaha. So Vidura, he tells Maitreya, Yat sevaya, by serving your lotus feet, O my spiritual master, kutasthasya madhudvisha, because you are engaged in service of madhudvisha, in the service of Supreme Lord. If I serve you, then what will happen? Ratiraso bhavet, I will develop transcendental ecstasy. So the knowledge becomes realization when we serve the spiritual master. So if one is not submissive, not surrendered, and if one is not serving, one is not humble, then his knowledge remains superficial. We may hear big talks and we may memorize so many things, but if we don't engage in service, the knowledge will not transform into realization. It will just remain in the head and then it will evaporate from there. Who is the spiritual master which we are supposed to serve? Prabhupada writes, a spiritual master who is coming in parampara. So just like from Brahmaji, Narad Muni is now getting the knowledge. Brahmaji got the knowledge from the Supreme Lord. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. And now Brahma is giving this knowledge to Narad Muni. So both speaker and the hearer should be bona fide. One should be authentic. When who is speaking, he should be bona fide, he should be connected, and the hearer should be connected. Tanno bhavan vai bhagavat pradhano mahattamaikant parayanasya harerudaram charitam vishuddham shushrushatam no vitanotu vidwan. So in the first canto also the sages, they are telling to Sutta Goswami, you are Bhagavat Pradhan, you are the best of the devotees, and we are eager to hear, and the subject matter which we are discussing is about Krishna. So this is the best combination. So therefore, unless one hears from bona fide spiritual master and renders service unto him, the knowledge will not become realization. So now Narad Muni in the second verse, he asks 6 questions. So actually in the first verse also he asked a question. Please tell me the knowledge regarding pertaining to the soul and super soul. Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. And please tell me the knowledge of these 6 things. So he's going to tell about this knowledge. Yad rupam yad adhishthanam yatah srishtam midam prabho yat samstam yat param yatcha tat tattvam vad tattvataha. So he's telling now, oh Brahmaji, please tell me 6 things. Please, I want to know about this universe. Idam, this universe, please tell me what is the root of this universe? What is the characteristic symptoms of this universe? Yad is adhishthanam, what is the shelter of this universe? Yata srishtam, please tell me how this universe is created. Yat samstham, how it is conserved or annihilated. Yat param, on which this universe is dependent. Yatcha, and what is the composition? What are the ingredients of this creation? These are the questions which Narad Muni is asking. So Prabhupada writes, actually these are the questions which are posed by material scientists also. All the material scientists, what they are asking. What is this universe? How it is made? How it will be destroyed? All these are questions which are asked by the material scientists also. The only difference is the material scientist, he tries to get the answer by his own intelligence. But a spiritual scientist, he gets answer by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. So that is what is described. There is a avaroha pantha, that means there is an ascending path. And there is a aroha. Sorry, avaroha means descending path, and aroha means ascending path. So ascending path means I will do the research work myself and I'll find out. And avaroha pantha means I will approach a person who knows and I will take knowledge from him. It saves time. So therefore, our process is avaroha pantha. Just approach a spiritual master who knows things and get the knowledge from him. So basically, Narad Muni is asking three questions in these two verses. Prabhupada writes, in this phenomenal world, there are three things which are observed by any intelligent person: the living beings, the manifest world, and the ultimate controller over both. So, first question was about Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Please tell me about the living beings and controller. That is Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. And the second question is about the material world. What is the shelter? What are the symptoms? How is it made? Who created it? How it was created? Where it will go after annihilation? So this is called knowledge. So Prabhupada, he gives the definition of knowledge. Knowledge means to know matter, spirit, and controller of both. This is knowledge. To understand, the spirit means the soul, matter means this universe, and the controller of both means the Supreme Lord. So out of these 6 questions, 3 questions are answered in this chapter, and the remaining 3 will be answered in the next chapter. So now Narad Muni, he is telling his convictions. He says, I think you know everything about this creation. Sarvam hi etad bhavan veda bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu karamalak vishwam vigyana avasitam tava. Sarvam hi etad bhavan veda. Oh my Lord, oh Brahmaji, oh my dear father, Sarvam hi etad. I think you know everything. All this is known to you. Who created, what are the symptoms, how it will be conserved, what are the constituents, you know everything. Bhuta, Bhavya, Bhavat, Prabhu. You know what was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, and whatever is being created at present. You know everything, past, present, and future. Everything is known to you. You have kept the entire universe in your hand like a walnut. A person who has walnut in his hand, that means he knows everything about this walnut. Kara amalakavad vishwam. Prabhupada translates amalak as the walnut. Vijnana vasitam tava. So you know all this scientifically, not just mental concoction. No, you know scientifically. So therefore, Prabhupada writes that these 3 principal items, the living being, the phenomenal world, and the controller of these 2, they're always in action. And the manager is supposed to know everything about this universe. So Prabhupada writes, the direct manufacturer of a particular thing is supposed to know how he learned the art, from where he got the ingredients, how he set up the whole thing, and how the products were formed. A manager should know everything. Therefore, Narad Muni is telling to Brahma, you know everything, I think. You know Paramatma, you know Jivatma, and you know this universe also. So therefore, please tell me. Narad Muni is asking all these questions, and it seems that Narad Muni is having the conception that Brahmaji is supreme. Therefore it tells, Yad Vijnano Yad Adharo Yad Parastvam Yad Atmakaha Eka Srijasi Bhutani Bhutair Evatma Mayaya. Oh my Lord, I think you are the supreme independent Lord. Why? Yad Vijnano, you are the source of your knowledge. Yad Adharo, you are your own shelter. You are not taking shelter of anyone. You are not getting knowledge of from anyone. You are dependent on yourself. Yat Para, Yad Atmakaha. I think you are your own Atma. And Eka Srijasi Bhutani, you alone are creating all the material, all the living entities. You are not taking help from anyone. You are doing it by your own personal energy. Prabhupada writes that actually it was known to Brahmaji that it was known to Narad Muni that Brahmaji created this entire universe by performing austerities. Actually, Srila Prabhupada, he does not wait for a person, for the character of the Bhagavatam to answer. Because Prabhupada knows the people of Kali Yuga, they are Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya. They are lazy, unintelligent, impatient. They cannot wait. What if the person leaves after reading this verse? What he will think? Acha, Narad Muni is telling Brahma is the supreme. So Prabhupada does not allow any misconceptions. So in the purport, Prabhupada clarifies that it was known to Narad Muni that Brahmaji has performed severe austerities to create this universe. And then somebody may ask, why Narad Muni? I think he knows everything. Doesn't he know all this? He's a son of Brahma. It will be answered in some time. So Narad Muni is now speaking his convictions. I think you are the supreme. I think you have created by your own energy. You have kept everything in your hand like Amalaki fruit. And I think you are the independent Lord. You create everything by your own energy like spider. Atman bhavayase tani na para bhavayan swayam atmashankam avashtabhya purnanabhirrivaklamaha. Atman bhavayase. You protect this universe by yourself. Atman bhavayase na para bhavayan swayam. And you are not defeated by anyone. You are the supreme powerful Lord. I think Atma Shakti, you are creating everything by your own power, just like spider. The example of spider is given always in Bhagavatam for to show the self-sufficiency. Because spider does not depend on anyone, creates the web with his own saliva, with his own element. He does not depend on any other thing. Creates the web, maintains for some time, and if you have seen that, it is not so uh, easy sight to see, but actually spider can eat its own web, winds it up, and eats it. So Brahmaji is telling, I think you are like a spider who is self-sufficient. You create by your own energy and you maintain it for some time, and then after that certain duration of time, you just wind everything up. So Prabhupada writes, the best example of self-sufficiency is sun. So sun is self-sufficient, does not depend on anyone. So Narad Muni compared the position of Brahmaji to a spider, because a spider does not have to depend on any other person or any other element of the nature, creates the web on its own. And then Prabhupada writes, but in this world, only the Supreme Lord can be self-sufficient. The Supreme Lord is the only person who is Atmaram and Aptakam. Aptakam means all his desires are fulfilled automatically. It does not depend on anyone to fulfill his desires. He just has to desire. Atmar Aptakam. As soon as he desires, all his energies become active. So therefore, Narad Muni is saying, I think you are self-sufficient Supreme Lord. You are like spider. And I don't know any other source but you. Naham ved param yasmin na param na samam vibho nama rupa gunair bhavyam sad asat kinchidanyatah. He's telling, I do not know any other source from where this universe can come. You are the only one. Who else can create such universe? Nobody is equal to you. Nobody is superior to you. So I think you are the only one. Nobody is superior. Nobody is equal to you. So all this universe, I think, is coming from you. You are the Supreme Lord. Nobody else can create other than you. So after telling his convictions, now Narad Muni expresses his doubt. But I have a doubt. Sabhavan charad ghoram yattapa susamahitah yena khedayasena tvam parashankam yachayachasi. I have a doubt. If you are the Supreme Lord, then why are you engaging in all these austerities? Ghoram, very severe austerities you are engaging in. With perfect discipline, susamahita. With perfect discipline, you are engaging in all this austerity. Why? Although you are as good as yourself, still you are engaging in austerity. Tena khedayase nastam. This is making me wonder. Parashankam, and it is creating doubt in my heart. Prabhupada writes that just like Narad Muni is doubting, one should not blindly accept anyone as a Supreme Lord. One should question. And nobody can claim himself to be God. If a spiritual master is claiming himself to be God, he's not God. He's like a dog. He should be rejected at once. Because no one can become God. We can become godly, but we cannot become God. So, Narad Muni, he thought that Brahmaji is supreme, but why to speculate? Let me ask Brahmaji only. So one time a person came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, my guru is God. Prabhupada said, Acha, how you are coming to this conclusion? He said, he made me free from addiction of drugs. Prabhupada laughed and said, if that is the criteria, I am God 100 times more. And he pointed to all the disciples. Just see, all of them were drug addicts, smokers, drunkards, and they have given up everything. So what is the criteria to be called as God? So Narad Muni is asking, like, why are you doing austerities? And then he asks for clarification. Etan me pritchata sarvam sarvagya sakaleshwarah vijanihi yathaivedam aham buddhe anushashitah. Etan me pritchata. This is my question. Sarvagya, you are all knower, or you are knowing everything. Sakaleshwarah, you are the controller of everything in this world. So therefore, please instruct me. I have become your student. Now, Brahmaji, he could have established his supremacy very easily. Brahmaji's body is made up of intelligence. His body is not like our body made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. His body is made up of intelligence only. He could have composed 1,000 new verses stating how he is supreme. But that is a spiritual master. He never ever speculates. He never poses himself to be God. To such an extent that when in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, he had started and established ISKCON, it was spreading worldwide. Some of the disciples, they started telling Srila Prabhupada is God. Prabhupada could not tolerate it. He actually banished them. He told them, you go out and start preaching. Don't stay here. One person who claimed himself to be God, once he was asked, are you God? He said, no. So then the person said, then all your disciples, they are telling that you are God. Why don't you tell them? He said, oh, they will feel bad. So So that is how people, they are becoming God, although they are not God. So Brahmaji could have spoken so many verses, but he is very honestly now going to tell. He clarifies. First of all, he congratulates Narad Muni for asking such a wonderful question. Samyak karunikasyeram vatsate vichikitsitam yadaham chodita saumya bhagavad virya darshane. O Narad Muni, you have done mercy to me. Samyak karunikasyeram, you have been so very merciful to me. Oh my son, the question which you have asked, it is mercy upon me. Why? How it is mercy? Yadaham chodita saumya. Because this question which you have asked, Bhagavad Virya Darshane, chodita means it is inspiring me to speak about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the joy of a speaker. Whenever the speaker gets a very serious and sincere audience, that is the joy. And speaker always congratulates the hearer. Because of the eagerness of the hearer, speaker gets a chance to speak. If there is nobody, then whom the speaker will speak? It's like in the beginning of the class, I was thinking, should I start or not? Because only one or two are there. So when the audience is there, then the speaker gets a chance to speak. Muneya sadhu prishtoham bhavadbhirlokamangalam yatrita krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. So Sud Goswami is congratulating the sages. Oh, what a question you have asked. Sadhu prishtoham. Wonderful question. Why? Bhavadbhir lokamangalam. It is for the welfare of everyone. How it is for welfare of everyone? Yatkrita Krishna samprashno. Anything which is related to Krishna, that is for the welfare. Yeah, yenatma suprasidati. That is the only thing which can bring happiness in the lives of this wretched Kali Yuga civilization. Varyaneshu te prashna krito lokahitam nripa atmavid sammata pumsam shrotavyadishu yapara. Bhagavatam, you will see many speakers, all the speakers, they first of all congratulate the audience. What a wonderful question. Varyaneshu te prashna. Shukdev Goswami is congratulating Parikshit Maharaj. What a question you have asked. Krito lokahitam ripa. It is for the welfare of people in general. Atmavit sammataha. These questions are concerning the self, and these are worth hearing. Shrotavyadishu yaparaha. These questions are worth hearing. Shrotavyadishu yaparaha. So that's how many of them, Maitreya Muni glorifies Vidura, the sages of Naimisharanya, Sutta Goswami glorifies sages of Naimisharanya, Shukdev Goswami glorifies Parikshit Maharaj for asking such question. Prabhupada writes, it is purifying both for the questioner and one who answers the question. Just like the Ganga purifies the three planetary systems, when questions are asked, three people get benefited. Who are they? The person who asks the question, one who gives answer, and the others who are hearing. Vasudeva katha prashna purusham strin punatihi vaktaram prachakam shrotram tatpada salilam yatha. Vakta, one who speaks, prachaka, one who asks, and shrota, one who hears. Just like Ganga purifies the three worlds, the questions which are asked in Bhagavad purify three types of people. And then Prabhupada tells that pure devotees of the Lord, they are not just satisfied by knowing the Lord. They want to preach, they want to spread this knowledge about Krishna to everyone. Therefore, Brahmaji is happy. That's why he's Sampradaya Acharya. He's happy telling, oh, thank you very much. You have given me a chance to speak about Krishna. And then he says, actually, your question is natural. Because people who don't know, they speak like this. Naritam tava tacchapi yatha mam prabravishi prabho avigyaya paramatta etavatvam yato hime na anritam. Actually, whatever you are speaking is not false. Anritam. Whatever you have spoken about mam, yatha mam bravishi, this is not false because avigyaya, people who are avigyaya, who are ignorant, paramattaha, matta, I am. They consider me to be the supreme personality because they are ignorant. And they speak like this only. So whatever you're speaking is not something astonishing for me. It is as if somebody goes in a movie theater, 3D movie theater, and they are given glasses. And when things are coming out of the screen, they stretch their hands. But the person who is not wearing the glass, he can see things as they are. So people of this world, they are wearing the glasses of the three modes of material nature. That's why they are bound to get bewildered. But people who are liberated, who are beyond the modes, they can see things as they are. And Prabhupada writes about the frog in the well. Famous story. One time his friend came from Pacific Ocean and he was saying, oh, I am coming from a great water body. Acha, how big it is? Oh, very big. So this frog started blowing his abdomen. Oh, this big, this big, this big. No, no, much, much bigger. And then ultimately the frog's abdomen bursts and he dies. So Prabhupada writes, the material scientists, they are also trying to speculate using their own intelligence. And one day they die. And Prabhupada writes, sometimes a materially powerful man is accepted as God. And some people consider Brahma to be God. And then Prabhupada writes, someone may ask that why Narada is asking this basic question. I also know. I have come to ISKCON since few years and I know everything. And Narad Muni is son of Brahmaji and he doesn't know. How is it possible? Lord puts such great personalities in situations, in such conditions, and thoroughly bewildered situations so that people like us can get benefited. Because many people have such questions. Oh, who is God? Brahmaji is God? So whenever in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is getting bewildered, Parikshit Maharaj putting garland on the shoulder of Shamik Rishi, Narad Muni is asking such questions. These are all for the welfare of people in general. Loka Sangraham Evapi. That's all. And Parikshit Maharaj asks, oh, how is it that, Brajavasis, they are loving their children more than you? When, 1 year of Brahma Viman Leela, how is it possible? How can somebody love their children more than you? So all these are for the welfare of people in general. Sukhaya karmani karoti loko na tai sukhavanya duparamam va vindeta bhuya yat eva dukkham yadatra uktam bhagavan vadennaha. So Vidurji is asking this question to Maitreya. Sukhaya, people in this world, they endeavor for sense gratification. They want happiness, but they don't get happiness. They get only pain. Why this happens? Do you think Vidurji doesn't know? Then why is he asking? For the welfare of people in general. And Prabhupada writes, the doubt which is arising in the mind of Narada is a very powerful lesson for frog-like men. No one can become God. And Prabhupada gives an example of Yudhishthir Maharaj. He says Yudhishthir Maharaj, actually he was having the same morality as Lord Ram. And even greater than Krishna, but nobody accepts Yudhishthir as God. however moral he may be, however virtuous he may be, because there is a criteria to accept somebody as God. So Brahmaji, he thanks, and then he clarifies the doubts of Narad Muni. He says, actually, I only recreate what is already created by God. Yena swarocisha vishwam rochitam rochayamyaham yatharko yatha somo yatharksha grahatarakah. Yena swarocisha vishwam. The Lord, by his own Rochisha, by his own personal effulgence, known as Brahma Jyoti, he has created this universe. Rochitam Rochayami Aham. Then what do? I am just recreating whatever is already created. Just like, he gives the example, just like the sun is the original source of light in this universe. And what all other luminaries are doing, Soma, the moon, the planets, the stars, what are they doing? They are just reflecting the light of the sun. Similarly, what I am doing, I am just recreating. So sometimes, Prabhupada writes, sometimes some foolish, unintelligent man, they have this conception that Brahma is God. Narad Muni wants to dispel that misconception. That's why he's asking. And very beautifully, very clearly, Brahmaji is telling, I am not the Lord. I am just recreating. That's all. There should be no misconception that I am God. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives the example. It is like a Pishta Peshan Nyaya. Just give me 1 second. Somebody is calling me again and again. Just give me 1 minute. Hare Krishna. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives the example, just like a, a, a grain which is already being ground. You cannot grind it finer. There is an extent to which you can grind a grain in a certain type of grinder. That is called Pishta Peshana Nyaya. So creating this universe by Brahmaji, it is like grinding which is already ground. So Brahmaji has not done anything. That's what Brahmaji is telling. Actually, so Brahmaji is like a gardener who is just planting the seeds. Seeds are not created by Brahmaji. Ability of the seed to grow is not given by Brahmaji. It is given by the Supreme Lord. So Brahmaji is not carried away by such royal glorification. Who is glorifying? Narad Muni is glorifying. And actually Brahmaji is doing this creation. It is not an ordinary thing, but he is accepting his actual position. One should not be proud of his achievements. As Prabhupada writes in the 15th chapter of the first canto, one should not be puffed up by the borrowed plumes. When Arjuna returned, being dejected, he's telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, I am the same charioteer, this is the same chariot, this is the same Gandiva, but I could not protect the wives of Krishna because Krishna took away all my potency. Everything was given by Krishna, Krishna took away. Tadvai dhanushtai shava ratho hayaste soham rati nripataya tadanamanti. So therefore, if one does not have proper mindset, if somebody is proud, then he accepts, oh, I have done this. We should not be proud. Can we become proud in any situation? Yes. We should be proud of our connection with Guru Parampara. We should be proud of Krishna. We should be proud of Srila Prabhupada. We should be proud of our acharyas and all the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam. That should be the cause of our pride. Otherwise, we should not be proud of our own achievements. Just like Brahmaji. He had all the rights to be proud. Just like when Yamdutas, they went to Yamraj and asked, how many creators are there? I think we thought you are the supreme. Katihi santi shastaro jivalokasya vai prabhu. Arey, aaj bal bal bach gaye. We were about to be killed. So Yamraj, he tells them, sit. I will tell you the fact. And then he tells the position of Supreme Lord Vishnu. Who is supreme? So therefore, Brahmaji is telling, I am just recreating. So Narad Muni may say, but are you not known everywhere as Guru? Everyone knows that you are the Guru and the creator of the universe. Is it not true? So Brahmaji, he tells, yes. It is only by Lord's Maya that people think me to be the creator. Tasmai namo bhagavate vasudevaya dhimahi yanmayaya durjayaya mam vadanti jagadguru. Tasmai, I offer my obeisances to that Supreme Lord, Vasudevaya dhimahi yanmayaya, the potency, the maya of the Lord, the illusory potency of the Lord is durjayaya. No one can conquer it. And under the influence of the maya potency of the Lord, people, they consider me mam vadanti jagadguru. People, they tell that I am controller, but it is not the case. Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Durjayaya maya. Maya is insurmountable. It is not just strong, it is not just powerful, it is insurmountable. Duratyaya, nobody can conquer. And that's how Maya Devi is covering intelligence of people. That's why Kunti Mahani tells Maya Javanika Channam Magya Dokshajam Abhyayam. Maya, everybody is covered by a curtain of illusion. Nalakshase mood drisha nato natya dharo yatha. Nobody can understand you. So Narad Muni may say, Acha, because of the Maya, people are considering you as Guru. But are those who respect you as Guru of the universe and they are bewildered by, and they speak like this, they are bewildered by Maya? Ramaji tells, yes. But how to understand that who is bewildered, who is enlightened? Ramaji tells, watch their words. How do they speak? Because people who are bewildered, they speak nonsense. So Brahmaji is telling, Vilajyamanaya yasya sthatum ikshapathe amuya vimohita vikathante mamaham iti durdhiya. You know the supreme powerful potency of the Lord? She is ashamed. Vilajyamanaya yasya. She is ashamed of her activity of bewildering people, living entities. So therefore, she doesn't dare to come in front of the Lord. She is ashamed. Sthatum ikshapathe amuya. So she stands behind the Lord and she bewilders people. And under the bewilderment of Maya Devi, what people say? Vikathante. What do they speak? Mam aham. This is me. This is mine. This is durdhiya. This is polluted intelligence. So anyone who speaks in this language of me and mine, they are bewildered. And you should understand that their words are covered by Maya Devi. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale apashyat purusham purnam mayam chadadashrayam. So it is described in the first chapter or first canto also that Maya Devi stands behind the Lord. So Brahmaji, Vyasdev saw Krishna and the material energy also. So in the seventh canto, we see Hiranyakashipu when he asked Narad Muni, who is the enemy who has taught you all this? So Prahlad Maharaj says, actually, he is the same person who is giving intelligence to everyone. And Hiranyakashipu laughs and sends and tells Shandanamarka, be careful of the enemies. I think they are coming in. So Shandanamarka takes Prahlad and teaches them again. And they ask Prahlad, who is the enemy who has taught you all this? Prahlad says, actually, watch your words. You are speaking in terms of friends and enemy. So therefore, it is not me whose intelligence is corrupted, it is you whose intelligence is corrupted. Because when people they speak in terms of me and mine, oh, this is my friend, my enemy, their intelligence is corrupted. So therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that those who give respect and receive respect without reference to the Lord, they are bewildered by Maya. Devasya Maya Krishta ye chanyat asadashritaihi भ्राम्यते धीर न तद्वाक्य यथा बुद्धि आत्मन्युत्तात्मनो हरौ. So Uddhava is telling to Vidura, Devasya Mayaya Sprishta, a person who is bewildered by material energy, they speak all these things. Their intelligence can never be focused on the service of the Lord. So now, after destroying the misconceptions of Narad Muni, Brahmaji starts answering the questions of Narad Muni. So now starts the creation. So he says, so the 6 questions which Brahmaji Narad Muni asked, Yad Rupam, Yad Adhishthanam. So he starts with Yad Rupam. What is the characteristic feature of this universe? So he says, Dravya Kala cha Karmascha Swabhavo Jiva Evacha Vasudevat Paro Brahman Na Chanyo Artho Asti Tattvataha. O Narad Muni, whatever you see in this universe, everything is coming from Lord Vasudeva. Dravya, Kala, Karma, Swabhava, and Jiva. Dravya means the 5 elements of the material nature, the essential elements of the material nature. Kala, the time factor. Karma, the activities. Swabhava, the change of gunas, the nature, and the jiva. Everything comes from the Supreme Lord. So Dravya is the element we heard in the last class, that the Dravya comes out from the body of Lord Mahavishnu. What is this Dravya? We'll be discussing in some time. So this Dravya is the repository of all the elements combined together. Jivas, they have 2 things, Swabhav and Karma. Because we have performed certain activities, so therefore we have some karmic reactions remaining, and depending on what activities we do, we have a particular type of Swabhava. And the Kala is the factor which is driving this reaction. That is the catalyst, without which nothing happens. So these are the 5 things which are coming from the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that this phenomenal world is impersonal representation of Lord Vasudeva. So then Brahmaji answers the 2nd question and the 5th question. Yad Adhisthana and Yad Param. What is the shelter of this universe? He says Narayana is the shelter of this universe. नारायण परा वेदा देवा नारायणांगजा नारायण परा लोको नारायण परामखा नारायण परो योगो नारायण परंतप नारायण परम ज्ञानम नारायण परम गति नारायण परा वेदा. The goal of the Vedas is to know Lord Narayan. The Vedas are meant for knowing Lord Narayan. They are made by Lord Narayan and they are meant to know Lord Narayan. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedesha Sarvair Ahameva Vedyo. Deva Narayana Angaja, all the demigods, they are the limbs of Lord Narayan. And the best type of worship is worship of the Lord Narayan only. When people they worship devatas, they are worshipping in a wrong way. Yepi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. So Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, people they worship devatas, but they are worshipping me in a wrong way. Why wrong way? Because they neglect that I am the Bhokta and Prabhu. I am the enjoyer. I am the master. They neglect and forget that. Narayana Paraloka, all the different planets, they are meant for the service of the Lord only. Narayana Paramakha, Lord is the master of all the sacrifices. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvalokam Heshwaram. And Prabhupada writes, the best type of sacrifice which can please the Lord is the Sankirtan Yagya. Yagyai Sankirtana Prayai Yajanti Hi Sumedhasaha. Narayana is the ultimate result of all types of yoga practices. Narayana is all the austerities, they are meant to please the Lord only. All the knowledge is meant to understand the Lord only, and Lord is the ultimate destination. Narayana Paragati. So Narad Muni, he might ask Brahmaji, Are, if Narayana is doing everything, then what do you do? आप क्या करते हैं? So Brahmaji tells, I create only what he has already created. And not only that, the inspiration for creation also comes from him only. Tasyapi drashturishasya kutasthasya kilatmanah srijyam srijami srishtoham ikshayeva bhichoditah srijyam srijami srishtoham. I create what he has already created. That's all. So Narad Muni may say, Acha, do you do this by your own decision? He says, no. Ikshayeva. I do it by his glance. He is giving me inspiration. Without inspiration of the Lord, nothing happens. Abhichoditaha. Abhichodita means it is inspired by him only. So without the inspiration of the Lord, nothing happens. So this indicates that Brahmaji is a Jiva and Lord is the Lord Vishnu is the supreme absolute truth. So actually, when we hear Brahmaji speaking like this, we should not take it literally. No, I am not doing anything. It is humility of Brahmaji. Because Brahmaji is actually doing substantial work. Without Brahmaji, this universe will not be made. He is doing everything. It is like Kaviraj Goswami telling, Oh, Jagay Madhai Hoite, Muise Papishta, Puri Sherakito Hoite, Muise Laghishta. I am lower than a Jagai and Madhai, more humble than, more fallen than worm in a stool. That is his humility. We should not take it literally. So many statements of Bhagavatam, they are metaphorical. And to understand which is the metaphorical statement, which is the literal statement, we should take shelter of the acharyas. We should understand, okay, this is metaphorical. This should be taken literally. So this is a figure of speech, alankar. Just like in Hindi, we say, Ghoda bech ke so raha hai. So if somebody doesn't know what does this mean, we ask, oh, घोड़ा कहाँ से आया? कितने में बेचा वो घोड़ा? So he'll ask all these questions. If he doesn't understand it, this is a phrase. So therefore, some statements are alankar. We should understand it. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, Brahmaji is a great devotee and he is empowered by the Lord to create this universe. Lord could have done it himself, but Lord wants to give credit to his devotees. Tasmat tumuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam samriddham mayevaite nihata purvameva nimittamatram bhavasavya sachin. So Krishna is also telling Arjuna that, oh Arjuna, get up, fight and take the glory. I have already killed all of them. You just become the instrument in my hand. So Krishna, he likes to make his devotees his instruments, to give them the credit. And then Brahmaji describes that this material universe is acting under Krishna. Krishna is never affected by all this material creation. The jivas are affected. Lord controls the three modes of material nature, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. They are not affecting the Lord anytime. Lord is transcendental to the three modes. Although he is involved in creation, maintenance and annihilation, but he is himself beyond it. But the jivas, they are bound by the three modes of material nature. And they suffer because of this identification with the material nature. And because people, they are themselves covered by the modes of material nature, they think that I am controller. They think that I am creator. So after describing this, now Brahmaji answers the fourth question, Yatah Srishtam. So first he described about Yad Adhishtanam, Yat Param, and now Yatah Srishtam. And Yad Rupam also. So Yad Rupam, Yad Adhishtanam and Param, they are taken as one. And then Yatah Srishtam. How this material universe is created. So there are two parts of creation. One is called Karana Srishti, another is called Karya Srishti. So it is some technical explanation of how this universe is created. So in the 14th verse, Brahmaji says that whatever you see in this universe, Dravya, Kal, Karma, Swabhava, Jeev, everything is coming from the Lord Vasudeva only. So now the Lord, who is the controller of Maya Devi, he desired to become many. The word comes. So this is very, very important to understand. How do living entities, if somebody says, Acha, Lord created living entities, one Lord became many. That's what Mayavadis say. Oh, we were Lord and one time and then we became many. It is like one paper teared into many pieces. It is not like that. So whenever the word is used, Eko Bahusyam, one became many, that is referring to the beginning of the creation. All the living entities who are lying in the body of Mahavishnu, the Lord now decided, okay, now the time has come. So the Lord created this universe. All the living entities came out of the body of Mahavishnu. That's how he became many. So Dravya came out from the body of the Lord. Dravya is also called as Prakriti or Pradhana. And Lord glanced on this Prakriti or material nature. The glance of the Lord impregnates this material nature with four things: Karma, Kala, Swabhava, and Jiva. So basically, Jiva has their karma and their karma and swabhav, and the time factor starts working. Yeah. So just like the primordial soup theory, if any of you have read the evolution, there is something called as primordial soup theory, where it is said that there was a homogeneous mixture which generates all the living entities because there was a lightning. So actually, this is Bhagavatam philosophy, but in a perverted way. This homogeneous mixture is basically Prakriti. This lightning is actually the glance of the Lord. When the Lord glances, then the Prakriti becomes active. Prakriti gets impregnated with Jiva, Kala, Karma, and Swabhav. That is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also. Mamayo mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavas sarvabhutanam tato bhavati bharata. I impregnate material nature with the living entities. To understand this even simpler way, just imagine there is a godown in which all the groceries kept in one place, dumped. So all the grocery kept in a godown, it is like Prakriti or Pradhan. The another name of Prakriti is Pradhan. Everything mixed up, jumbled. So now the time for cooking has come. So supervisor comes, opens the godown, and first of all, what he does? Starts segregating things. So when the Pradhan, which is complete homogeneous mixture of all the elements, Lord glances on the Pradhan, there is some segregation which starts under the influence of time factor. And the Pradhan gets converted into what is called as Mahat Tattva. So this Mahat Tattva, it is predominantly in the mode of goodness first, because mode of goodness is also acting. So Pradhan gets converted into Mahatattva, which is in the mode of goodness, then in the mode of passion, then in the mode of ignorance. So Mahatattva in the mode of ignorance is called as Ahankar. Ahankar is predominantly in the mode of ignorance, and this Ahankar further gets transformed under the different modes. So you can see the chart and you will have some clarity. So Pradhan, Ahankar, under the mode of goodness, gets transformed into the mind and the 10 devatas, sense devatas. Ahankar in the mode of passion gets transformed into the prana, the 10 senses, and the intelligence. 10 senses means 5 working senses and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. And Ahankar in the mode of passion gets transformed into the 5 elements and the 5 tanmatras. Tanmatra means sense objects. So this is how the Karana Srishti is made. What is this Karana Srishti? Karana Srishti means the creation which is done by Mahavishnu or Karano Dakshai Vishnu. After this, what happens? Now all the elements are created, all the ingredients are ready. Now actual cooking has to take place, right? The ingredients are segregated, all ingredients are ready. Somebody has to come and steer, right? Because the universe, all the universal elements are formed, but nothing is happening. All the 23 elements are formed, but nothing is happening. So that sense devatas, they pray to Supreme Lord. and because of the prayer. So this is mentioned in the third canto in detail. So in response to the prayers of the Devatas, the Lord sends his energy, which is called cohesive energy, also called as Vibhrat Shakti, which starts assembling all these elements. And when it happens after 1,000 years of inactivity, just like for cooking, when it starts, it takes time for the food to get cooked, right? Poha bana rahe hain, sab dal diya. Now it takes some time for the cooking to get complete, poha to get cooked. So after 1,000 years of inactivity, Garbho Dakshai Vishnu, okay. So Karano Dakshai Vishnu created all these material elements. Now Garbho Dakshai Vishnu enters this universe, and he finds that, oh, this universe is empty. Where do I lie down? So Garbhodaksha Vishnu fills half of the universe with his sweat, and that becomes Garbhodak Sagar, and he lies down in that Garbhodak ocean. And then from this Garbhodaksha Vishnu, the Virat Rupa, that is the universe, is formed. All the 14 planetary systems are formed. So basically, what comes out of Garbhodaksha Vishnu? Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from his navel comes Brahmaji. So the creation which happened by Garbhodaksha Vishnu, creation which happened after the material elements are created, that is the amalgamation of the material elements to form a universe which is called as golden egg. This is called as Karya Srishti. And then subsequently, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he created this universe or Virat Rupa. So the remaining section of this chapter described various understandings of this Virat Rupa in terms of the planetary systems. The various planetary systems are described in compared to the various parts of the body of this Virat Rupa. In terms of Varnas, Brahmanas are the mouth or the head, Kshatriyas are the hands, Vaishyas are the thighs, and Shudras are the legs. And there are some other imaginations which tells the lower planet, Bhurloka, they are the lower legs. Bhuvarloka is the middle part. Swargaloka is the upper, from the chest to the head. So this is the Virat Rupa. So this is in short the creation. So this is the end of this chapter. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So anybody has any questions? I know it is very complex topic.
Yes, Prabhuji, it is super complex. It takes some time to really absorb it.
Yeah. So lots of details are involved.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, this Virat Rup, is it imaginary?
It is imaginary form. Itiva Loka Kalpana, the last verse of this chapter says, Bhurloka Kalpita Padhyam. You imagine, because there is no form as Virat Rupa, right? You are considering the upper planetary systems as the head, lower planetary systems as the leg, middle planetary systems as the waist. There is no form of Lord like this, you know. But a person considers, imagines, just like we heard in the first chapter also of the second canto, the yogi who is still not completely purified of his desire to enjoy in this world, he imagines this form of the Lord. That is a dharana ashraya. Dharana ashraya means the object of meditation of an immature yogi is this Virat Rupa. So although it is imagination, it is bona fide imagination by which one gets purified in due course of time. Okay.
Prabhuji, and in Bhagavad Gita also Virat Rupa is there, and they say that it is for people like materialistic people, like all those who don't believe in God. Like, and
Prabhuji,
what
both
is
the
the
Virat
difference
Rupas are
between this
different,
and
is it?
that?
Bhagavad Gita Virat Rupa is a revelation. Bhagavatam Virat Rupa is a imagination. Arjuna was not imagining that form, he was practically seeing that form. It was revealed to Arjuna. Arjuna was seeing everything. Tatraikastham jagat kritsnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yachanya drashtumachasi. Oh Arjuna, you see whatever you want to see in this universe, you will see at one place. That was a revelation. It is not possible to see everything at one place. It was the revelation of the Lord, where Lord showed everything. He showed actually practically all the devatas. Everybody was there. Pashyadityan, Vasun, Aditya, Vasu, Rudra, Ashwino, Maruta. Everything Krishna shown, everything in one place. So that was actually a revelation where Krishna showed Arjuna, you see all these things, whatever you see, want to see from Brahma Loka down to the lower planetary systems, everything is there in one place for you. So that was the mercy of the Lord. Just to tell Arjuna that don't worry, you want to see what is happening in the future. So Krishna, he just didn't show the Virata Rupa, he showed Kala Rupa also to Arjuna. He showed Arjuna the future. What will happen to all these soldiers? They are all going to die. Churnitairuttamangai. Arjuna was seeing all the heads being crushed in the jaws of this Kala Rupa. So Krishna showed not just Virata Rupa, but Kala Rupa also. He showed time. So that was the difference. So Virata Rupa of Bhagavatam is the imagination of Ashtanga Yogi by which one gets purified. And many times the description of Virata Rupa will come for various reasons. Yeah. Right.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna,
and
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes, ma'am.
As you said in Bhagavatam, it is imagination of the Ashtanga Yogi. But Prabhuji, as the soul gets purified, whatever the knowledge is given is from the Lord within. So the Ashtanga Yogi also gets this knowledge from the Lord after the purification of heart. So how can it be an imagination then, Prabhu?
See, this imagination purifies the Ashtanga Yogi because he, after focusing on this Virata Rupa, one gets to go to these places because wherever a person thinks, in the last moment he is transported to that place. So we have heard in the first chapter that after this Ashtanga Yogi, he leaves his body as per his will. He is taken to all these planetary systems, Shishumar Loka, and then ultimately he goes to Brahma Loka. And there he engages in meditation. He engages in tapasya. And that tapasya purifies his desire for enjoying this world. And then after this life of Brahma, he stays in Brahma Loka along with Brahmaji for his entire life. And after that life, he merges into Brahman. Or if by chance he gets interested in devotional service, he can get bhakti also. So that's that is how Ashtanga Yogi gets purified by focusing on this imaginary form. That is how it works.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a further doubt. As in Bhagavad Gita 2, it is said that Nainam Chindati Shastrani. So that shlok itself says the qualities of the soul. So right now you just mentioned that the Ashtanga Yogi merges into the Brahma Jyoti. So how can it so happen that the soul merges? Because then it has its own identity. No, it cannot merge.
Merges doesn't mean loses its identity. It's there in the Brahman. Merges means he merges in the light. In the light also, the constitutional position is maintained. The individuality is maintained. Although one light spark of the light is merging into another spark, another light, but the individuality is still there. So in Brahman, one will find all these yogis, and one will find all the demons also, because demons also get the same. Demons who are killed by Krishna, they are also given the same position, but the individuality is maintained. They don't lose their individual position. Natve vaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipa nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayamata param. There was never a time when in all these things did not exist. There will never be a time when they will not exist. So that is the understanding we should be having. Okay.
So Prabhu, will they not gain Vishnu Loka or Vaikuntha at any point? I mean, even after so much of purification.
One can go to spiritual world of Vaikuntha and Goloka only by association of devotees. That's why Prabhupada would always tell, Aruhya krichrena param padam tataha patanti adha anadrit yushmadangrayaha. Although all these yogis, they go up to Brahman, but they again fall down. Because there is no reciprocation. There is no reciprocation of love. And living entities, they cannot live without loving somebody. Although there is peace, but there is no love. Ananda is not there. Shanti is there. But jivas, they hanker for love. Raso vai saha. Krishna is raso vai saha. And all the jivas are also interested in tasting that rasa. So they fall down. Again come down to the material world. And if they get association of devotees, then they can go to spiritual world. That is understanding.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji, for the clarifications.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned about the golden egg. So there are many golden eggs which are formed because there are so many universes.
Yeah, yes. There are unlimited universes. So depending on the situation, all the universes, they keep forming and they keep getting destroyed. So that keeps on happening. Okay. Okay, so I think there are no questions. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.